Welcome, Andrew, to KBDG Techtopia. This is our third year, and last year we have an honor to invite you to come to speak in Thailand, give us light and show us way, and also inspire us, about the future of AI. And we are very excited to have you here again. Like things have been developing so fast since last year. Last year, there are many things a lot about Gen AI, but this year, like things move to like agentic AI, and definitely, you are the gurus and also the one of the most powerful person in the world in AI, and we are very excited to have you here. So let's start. Andrew, is AGI true or is it not, or is it a serious hype? What do you think about it?
Yeah, so it's great to be back here at Tiktopia, and thanks, Konkrati, for having me back. I think one of the difficulties about talk about AGI is it's become a marketing term or a term of hype with no longer a clear definition. The original definition of AGI was AI that could do any intellectual task that a human can. But over the last few years, many different businesses have put forward for marketing or PR or other purposes a lot of different definitions of AGI to the point where no one has a one clear definition of it anymore. Maybe one misconception about AGI, I don't think it's a single discrete technology to be invented. Instead, AI progress is continuous and gradual. And so depending on how we define AGI with the original definition, when with AGI, it means AI should be able to learn to drive a car in maybe a couple dozen hours, like a human can, or learn to fly an airplane, or learn to do all of these things. For that definition, I think we're still maybe many decades away. But there's some other definitions of AGI where, frankly, I think we got there 3 years ago or 20 years ago. So depending on how you define AGI, maybe 20 years in the past or 30, 50 years in the future. But regardless of this definition, AI is approaching rapidly, and that progress I think will be continuous rather than a sudden step change where if AGI and everything changes, and the business opportunities keep growing as AI continues to march forward.
I see. I think you hit on a very important point that basically probably in order for AI to do something or even surpass human in many things, there will be a collection of tools, right? It will be a collection of tools, and it will be there's a word composite AI, that kind of thing as well. And what last year you mentioned about Gen AI a lot, and this year is agentic AI. What do you think is the big step change from last year to this year, and what do you see as the future of these collections of tools?
So I think of AI and Gen AI and agentic AI as giving us lots of different building blocks. Picture a set of Lego building blocks, and if you only have a yellow brick, you can build some yellow structures, like maybe build a duck. If you have a yellow brick and a blue brick and a red brick, you can build more interesting things. And you have 100 types of bricks, the things you can build, like a very rich landscape, just grows exponentially or grows combinatorially. So what has happened over the last year is the set of building blocks we have has been becoming much better and much more diverse. So just to toss out some buzzwords, today we have great tools for RAG, guardrails, agentic AI, evals, I don't know, vector databases, and on and on and on. And so it feels like the set of building blocks we have is growing, but it turns out that individuals understanding the building blocks and having a mental framework to put them together is so critical for building these valuable applications. Of the different trends going in AI, I think the rise of building blocks is one major one. One other major trend is the rise of AI-assisted coding. And I think with innovations like Claude Code or earlier generations like Cursor, Windsurf, Cline, GitHub Copilot, coding with AI assistants is now easy enough that I think even for non-technical people, it's worthwhile learning to code. Not that you write the code yourself, you get AI to do it for you. But in the future, people that can tell a computer exactly what you want it to do so they can do it for you will just be much more powerful and capable than people that can't do that. And for the foreseeable future, understanding the language of computers, understanding coding gives you that deeper understanding that allows you to get a computer to do what you want. So that's the non-developers. And for software engineers, here in Silicon Valley, I'm seeing dramatic accelerations of productivity. So I would really hate to ever have to code again without um, the assistance of highly agentic coding assistants like Claude Code or the open source, the Gemini CLI and a few other options like that. I personally use Claude Code a lot. And this dramatic acceleration in productivity of engineers is creating new opportunities to just build a lot more software and at much higher speed and lower cost than was ever possible before.
I see. So I think like you still believe that actually AI will basically like empower people, uplift people, and increase productivity, and basically it will democratize many capability that in the past is only limited to like people with deep technical skill, right? So then like people will have like more access, and you'll be like the coding skill, technical skill will be more accessible to people like business people, that kind of stuff, and the whole world will have more productivity. So you believe in the future that is like abundance, right? Like the up scenario versus the Mad Max scenario. So you believe in the up scenario, right?
Yeah, I think AI is making individuals much more productive. That's very clear, technical and non-technical people. And if you look at historical trends, as human productivity increase, um, salaries actually increase as well. So it's actually good for people to be more productive because on average, you just get paid more. And it's also good for the businesses to employ these people. So this is a great time for everyone to be learning to code with AI, and for developers that already know how to code to learn to go much faster with AI. I feel like for a place like Thailand, with that hunger for technology, that fast-moving, innovative business drive, when I was there, last time in person, I was really encouraged by the appetite to embrace AI. And as the tools get even better, that continued appetite and hunger, I think, puts the country in a good position to keep growing.
Thank you very much, Andrew. And sorry to just to correct myself, it's actually not the up scenario versus Mad Max scenario. It's actually Wall-E scenario versus Mad Max scenario.
I see. I
Yeah,
see. Cool,
so
cool, cool.
so let's go to the Wall-E, like the human that don't have to do anything. And there is a mention, like a big mention in terms of the physical AI as a next step of the agentic AI. What is your view on the physical AI, where AI is entering like the physical realm? How far we are along that line, and what would happen when we enter the physical AI era?
So, whereas large language models processing text clearly breakaway working, I think visual AI is getting there. Um, AI for robotics is showing real traction. I don't think it's broken away yet. I don't know if it's reached the inflection point yet, but I think it's getting close. So there's enough work on humanoid robotics, for example, that I think the vision of general purpose robots where you can use AI to control a robot not to do one task over and over, but to do a wide range of tasks, is frankly not working yet today, right? It's like very challenging. But there's enough research on it. And I'm seeing signs in, I don't know, warehouse automation, for example, where the set of things you get a robot to do is just growing a bit, that I find it quite promising. One of the challenges we'll need to figure out is so much of the hardware manufacturing supply chain is dominated by China. But then the AI robotics software is probably more advanced in the United States still, although some parts of China's software is still very advanced. So how to solve the complex geopolitical considerations, supply chain considerations facing us. It turns out Taiwan also is a very good supply chain for hardware. I know a lot of automotive work in Thailand. So I feel like the geopolitics seem to get harder with hardware, even though it's pretty complicated, even with software. But I'm cautiously bullish about that whole sector.
I see. So like if we focus on only the software side, like of the physical AI, like do you think there will be like the foundation model of the physical AI or robotics like coming out very soon, or do you think it will be like one foundation model like for this thing, like for example visions or like that kind of stuff? What do you see as the software side of the the physical AI?
So many teams have been training robotic foundation models, and I would say, I would say the early signs of it working. Um, the biggest challenge is text and images and audio have standard representations. Text is represented in a computer in a fairly standard encoding ASCII. Images are what PNG files or JPEG files or GIF files. So all around the world, all images, most images are represented that way. But because different physical robots are different from each other, they have different joints, different lengths, different strengths, the robot's data is much more heterogeneous, much more different than each other compared to the text data or the image data or the audio data. So this is one of the things that's made it much more difficult to train robotic foundation models. It's just really difficult to get enough data of the same format. Um, Despite that, the attempts to train very large-scale robotics models have been encouraging, including sometimes maybe sharing data across pretty different robots or innovative ways to collect data. So, for example, one of my friends, Chelsea Finn at Stanford, has been building very innovative hardware to let people teleoperate or have use human hands to collect data that the robot can then learn from. So, accelerating the data collection, starting to move its way into some factory or warehousing types of deployment scenarios. Progress progress does not feel like it's nearly as fast as when large language models reach that inflection point, but it feels like it is accelerating. So I'm, again, cautiously optimistic.
Got you. Thank you very much. And the like let's shift to the what is the implication for general people, what because AI is basically progressing very fast and some people feel they cannot keep pace with it, what is your suggestion for the general population and people to keep pace and still stay relevant in the age of AI?
So, to someone worried about being relevant, let me just say, learn AI, you will be highly relevant. There's plenty of time, plenty of opportunities to learn AI because the development of AI is still so new. Um, and there's one other thing I realized, which is some people wonder, what if I learned something and even what I learned today is obsolete in a year? Why not just wait a year? It turns out while AI seems like it's moving so fast, partly because some businesses are doing a lot of PR, marketing, hype, um, the knowledge you learn today, a lot of it will still be relevant a year from now. Yes, a small fraction of it will be obsolete, but I think a year or 2 years from now, probably 80% of the stuff you learn today will still be relevant. So what I'm seeing now is that people that started to learn AI 2 years ago or 1 year ago, yes, there is a small fraction, maybe 10, 20% of what they learned that became obsolete, but 80, 90% of what they learned is still highly relevant. So people that start to learn 2 years ago are ahead of people that started a year ago, are ahead of people that are just starting now, and this will be true into the future as well. One nice thing about AI as well is that with just a little bit of knowledge, you can start to deliver some results. So with more knowledge, you can start to do more. So I would say learn to prompt AI models. Take online courses, practice, chat with friends, get access to tools. And then also learn to code with AI, get AI to write code for you. And again, while that too is evolving rapidly, a lot of what you learn today about how to use AI to write code for you, I promise it'll still be relevant a year from now, even though some details will change.
I see. So also go to deeplearning.ai, and then that's where you get a most updated knowledge and
Mhm.
basically the thing that is most relevant and not marketing, not
So,
fat. And
thank you.
the second thing is that you serve on the board of the one of the most powerful AI company in the world and also you consult a lot of companies in terms of AI driven transformation. There seems to be a big gap between a company that successfully use AI and deliver results compared to the rest of the company. What are the differences, between the successful company and the company that are not so successful? What is your suggestion for the AI transformation for corporations?
Yeah, so I'll just share my personal views. I don't represent the views of any of the large public companies where I serve in these different capacities. But my personal view is, I think a lot of large tech companies are quite far along on the AI journey, which is fantastic. Um, for a lot of other businesses, it's still very early in the journey, and it's okay because um, sorting out the talent workforce issues, sorting out what are your biggest pain points, and therefore what applications to build, all that takes time. And when I look outside the tech sector, um, almost all businesses are still in a relatively early phase of the journey. So just to share some of the challenges, I think um, sorting out the talent strategy is going to be important because it turns out you don't need thousands of AI experts, but having a small number of AI experts to advise on corporate strategy, provide training, that really helps. Providing enterprise-wide training, not to make everyone an AI expert, but to enable everyone to use AI, that also really helps. And then lastly, many businesses have had a lot of bottom-up innovation, which is fantastic. That gives the organizational learning, run experiments, but then one challenge is identifying the top-down high priority projects to put a lot of resources into. That too is difficult. But I find that as businesses slowly start to do all of these things, provide broad workforce enablement training, have a pod of highly skilled AI developers, if you can hire them, um, enable bottom-up innovation, but then also identify a handful of the two or three key top-down initiatives to place a larger bet on. One of the challenges is these solutions are not one size fits all. These solutions are different based on the context of a business, the competitors, the resources. But figuring those out, it does take a little bit of time, but I see um, businesses investing in this able to accelerate on this journey. One of the reasons my good friend, Kirsty Town and I recently launched AI Aspire is because Kirsty, who's the kind of a PhD and the kind of used to run a business school, advised tons of businesses. She and I were excited about trying to find ways to help large businesses through providing AI advisory to proceed strategically in a way that lets it build these AI capabilities. So excited about what businesses in Thailand and around the world could do to embrace these capabilities.
I see. And with many companies that adopting AI at scale, and also rising concern about AI displacing jobs, especially with the arrival of AI agents. What is your view on how we we should reskill the workforce? Because you mentioned earlier as well. I think there's a fear among the workers that will I be displaced? Will I and given the tech layoff as well, what is your suggestions for the organization to overcome, that kind of AI adoption and concerns?
It's interesting. I struggle to think of even one company that I think is over investing in training. And I
Mm,
can make tons of companies that are under investing in training and reskilling. So I think for most businesses, because the technology is moving so fast, um, you should probably invest more in reskilling than you are right now because the technology is moving fast and people with these skills are actually more productive. One encouraging thing I'm seeing is actually it turns out on my team at AI Fund, everyone knows how to code. And the interesting thing is this is leading to significant productivity improvements, not just among software engineers, that's easy and that's clear, but also among many different job functions. So for example, my CFO, great CFO, she wrote code
mhm.
to automate some of her team's business process workflows, now save us team many hours a week. Or the person that runs our front desk, like she runs our front desk, she's a great admin person. She's writing code to scrape the internet and help build databases and help figure out who are the investors of interest and so on. But I'm seeing for a lot of job roles or assistant general counsel, he's a lawyer. He's writing code to help him generate NDAs, automate part of his job that
Wow.
he's finds less exciting. So it's not that our lawyer became a software engineer, but he's a better lawyer because he can use AI. And I find that for a lot of job roles, as people gain these skills, make AI do what you want, you become much better at your job role. And those productivity improvements are real. So this is all saying AI won't replace someone, but someone that uses AI will replace someone that doesn't. I think there's a lot of truth to that. But the even better news is, as I mentioned just now, on average, as individuals become more productive with AI assistance, looking over long time horizons, people actually do get paid more because the companies are much more productive. And so I think this would be good for businesses and good for individuals to invest in this type of upskilling. So I think the future is bright, especially for people that embrace AI.
Thank you very much, Andrew. And the other question is that, like, when we implement AI, like, the concerns that big corporations always have is on, like, one, selecting use cases, and two, like, their data, right? And three, like, governance and guardrails. It seems to be a common concern, like, apart from the workforces that we already touched up on. What is your like suggestion for the company? On like selecting the high value use cases, and also like how to modernize their data. It might be a big topic, but like just high level like suggestion, and also the guardrails, and also the compliances. How to balance all these trees.
Yeah. So there's a lot going on there. But let me just share one best practice I learned. So it turns out that many of our large businesses, we do have something to lose, right? If we leak out data or engineer runs some crazy experiment that damages our brand, if we uh do something that hurts the revenue, like we do have something to lose when we're running a large business. And so it turns out that many businesses end up setting up protections so that we don't have one engineer launch something that really does a lot of damage. But the flip side of this is if for an engineer or product manager or someone to run an experiment, if they need approval from five vice presidents, then everything grinds to a halt. It's just impossible. Imagine to even run a small experiment, you need marketing review, ethics review, legal review, HR compliance, and whatever. Then it's just impossible. Um, the other trend is the cost of experimentation is falling. So when I have an idea for an application, there are a lot of things that a few years ago would have taken me, you know, three engineers, 6 months or something to build, that today I can build by myself over a weekend using AI-assisted coding. So the cost of experimentation has really fallen. And what this means is in economics, when something is much cheaper, right, we should maybe buy a lot more of it. I think smart businesses should take advantage of this ability to have an idea, try it, see if it works. But we need to do so in a way that we don't try an idea and then somehow we leak sensitive information and it takes down the company. And I think the way to do that is to preemptively set up sandboxes that are safe environments for teams to try things out and just run really, really fast. So the sandbox could be things like you can't use sensitive information, you can build a product, but you're only allowed to show it to our own internal employees. Don't launch it publicly and don't use the company's brand, and launch something untested. Um, but with these protected sandboxes is often enough to give a lot of room for teams to run in to develop and test out product concepts. And sometimes I find that we'll test 20 product concepts, and if 18 of them fail, but that's the price of finding the two that are really valuable, that we will then invest in extra guardrails, protections, data safety, privacy, compliance to take the scale. That's actually a good recipe. I know some leaders have been feeling angst that a lot of proof of concepts never make it into production, but I think that's actually fine if we can make the cost of a proof of concept cheap enough. And because of AI assisted coding, the cost of running experiments is now much lower than it used to be, frankly, even compared to what it was 6 months ago. So I think re-architecting businesses to try out tons of ideas really quickly in a safe, protected sandbox to figure out lots of things that'll fail, but a small number of things that will work, and then investing in guardrails to take it forward. That seems like an important thing businesses do. And then figuring out the top-down initiatives. I think that comes to core part of company strategy, and that is hard. So Kirsty and I, sometimes we, work with our partners on workshops to think through what are the hardest problems in the business, what's the biggest upside, and then, can new AI technology solve it? Sometimes it can, sometimes it can't, but I think those are opportunities I definitely see existing in quite a few large businesses.
I think like the now we come to the last questions. I think like the what do you think is the future of AI, and also what is your suggestion for Thailand and Southeast Asia in general?
One of the most expensive things in the world right now is intelligence. So only the relatively wealthy, it was not easy to be able to afford to hire a highly skilled doctor to counsel us on a medical condition or to hire a highly skilled tutor to patiently tutor our children. But and it's very difficult to make human intelligence cheap because it takes a lot to train a wise human being. But with AI, we have a path to make intelligence cheap. So in the future, I think rather than only the relatively wealthy being able to hire people to do these things, in the future, I think everyone will be able to hire an army of smart, well-informed staff to counsel us on all of these things. And in fact, even take software engineering. Previously, it used to be very expensive to hire a software engineer to test an idea. Now you can hire a AI to work with you to get a lot more things built than was ever possible before. And if every single person of a huge range of wealth levels, not just the wealthiest, can have this army of smart, well-informed staff to help us, then I think humanity will become much more powerful. And in the case of Thailand, I was really encouraged visiting your organization, visiting KBank, visiting Chulalongkorn University, and also just seeing all the um, excitement and momentum for embracing AI. So I feel like same as I felt a year ago, as I look at tech developments in Thailand, I feel very optimistic about Thailand being in a good position to embrace and build on and build lots of applications that make sense for the Thailand context. So I am, and will continue to be a strong supporter of Thailand. And I'm actually excited about events like KBGG Techtopia to help share knowledge about AI and about technology. But look, in the future, I will continue to be a strong supporter of Thailand and hope to be back in person and to keep working with you on building up Thailand's AI ecosystem.
So thank you very much, Andrew, and that's such an inspiring ending. Thank you very much again, and Thailand has so much to show you. And next year we will show you again what we have come, and the progress that we have made, and we will make you proud of us for sure. Thank you so much.
No, thank you, Konstantin. Thank you.